Popular culture constantly inundates us with images of great conquerors in world history, like the Caesars and the Genghis Khans. But what about Africa? Are there any great conqueror kings coming out of the region from which we, in the Afro-descended world, descend? What up, African world? It's Home Team here, and welcome back to another video of African history, culture, and worldview. By supporting this channel on Patreon, you're helping in the creation of these videos and supporting this content. If you'd like access to full courses and sources, or you simply want to show your support, you may do so by clicking the Patreon link in the description box below. We know well the great conqueror kings of Europe and Asia, but Africa is lacking because our great figures are largely ignored. But if we are to look at the records written by West Africans themselves in the Tariq-es-Soudan and Tariq al-Fatash, we'll hear of a great conqueror king who struck fear in the hearts of many West African peoples. Before we get into that, I have to say that this video will go a little against the grain. The two primary sources concerning this particular ruler has very disparaging things to say about him because he wasn't a Muslim, like many of the elites were in West Africa during that time. And so the Muslim authors did not at all hide their disdain for him, calling him many different names such as the celebrated infidel, the great oppressor, and the horrible tyrant, among many others. However, the reality is a little different, especially depending on who you would have talked to in those times. And so, even though I'll document what they had to say, I will also share another perspective. So I thought I'd just let you guys know, at the end of the day, you guys will be the judge. Today, we'll be talking about the great conqueror in West African history, known today as the Songhai ruler, Sunny Ali. Sunny Ali was known locally as Sunny Arubero, the phrase Bero or Bur meaning great. Sunny descended from a line of dynastic rulers who recently broke away from the Mali Empire in the 14th century. Sunny's parents were reportedly well acquainted with their traditional African religion, especially his mother. It's believed that she taught him in the arts and traditions of the traditional religion, and his father initiated him. Sunny never forgot this, apparently. On top of that, given that background, it's no wonder why the Muslim scholars of the Tariq al-Soudan and the Tariq al-Fatash treat him in such a hostile manner. According to the Tariq al-Soudan, the rule of the Sunny dynasty only extended merely to the Songhai homeland and some constituent territories. And so, by our definition today, it would have only been a relatively small kingdom. But in 1463, Sunny Arubero came to the throne, and it was under this great conqueror king that the Songhai kingdom became a vast empire. Sunny's military career began with the taking of Timbuktu. Timbuktu by this time was controlled by Governor Muhammad Atta. The governor desperately wanted to pacify Sunny as he saw his ambition and growing power. He sent letters to Sunny, congratulating him, asking him to count him as one of his household. Unfortunately, Muhammad Atta died, and his son Umar came to power in Timbuktu and had a very different approach toward the rising strength of the Songhai ruler. But Umar was eventually forced to invite Sunny to quell Tuareg aggression in Timbuktu. Sunny came to conquer Timbuktu and expelled the Tuareg from the city. The Tariq describes how Sunny killed many people there, including scholars. This was one of the reasons why the Tariq drags Sunny's name through the mud, as the author of the Tariq al-Soudan was a Berber or Amazigh, and many of the people Sunny killed and expelled were Berbers. However, Sunny himself claimed that he persecuted the people at Sankore University in Timbuktu because they were sympathizers of the Tuareg, their protégés if you will, and therefore the enemy. Sunny had accomplished the taking of Timbuktu by 1469, and his next military conquest was perhaps his biggest prize and the more difficult to capture. The Tariq tells us that Jenne had never been conquered since the town had been founded, and so the conquering of Jenne by Sunny was perhaps his greatest military achievement. The records tell us that Sunny laid siege to Jenne for 7 years and 7 months. But the number 7 can be seen as a symbolic number in the Abrahamic religions, so we're not exactly sure if that number can be relied on in this particular account. Regardless, the taking of Jenne showed the patience of Sunny Arubur and his dedication to expanding the power and influence of the Songhai. Djenné was a gem of the expanding Songhai state. It had international trading links like Timbuktu, a university, and arguably the most beautiful architecture in all of the Western Sudan. Unlike Timbuktu, Sani showed mercy to the citizens of Djenné. In fact, one of the most interesting traditions came from the taking of Djenné by Sani Aruber. According to the Tariq al-Sudan, the Sultan of Djenné and his senior army commanders rode out of the city and surrendered to Sani personally. Sani greeted them and received them with honor. He immediately realized that the Sultan of Djenné was very young, and so he took hold of him and seated him beside himself on his royal rug and said the following: "Have we been fighting with a boy all this time?" Then the men of Djenné told Sani that the Sultan's father had died during the siege and that he had succeeded him. Because of this event, it later became customary for the Sultan of Songhai to sit together with the Sultan of Djenné on a single rug. Sani then went on to marry the young Sultan's mother, and no injury of any kind was done to the people of Djenné. With the taking of some of the most powerful cities in West Africa, Sani Bur was on his way to running through most of the Western Sudan. Town after town fell to the great conqueror, and he also imposed his rule on the vast Fulani nomads and rulers. His legendary accomplishments and the speed of his takeover was in part the result of his having built a naval fleet to control the Niger River. This fleet enabled Sani Ali to capture Timbuktu, Djenné, and devastate Mali. The high commander of the Songhai Navy was called Hai Khoi, and the fleet's primary port was located at Kabara near Timbuktu. To the south of the Songhai lay one of Sani's chief rivals, the Maasai people. In 1480, the Maasai ruler launched a raid on the Songhai city of Walata. They besieged the city for a month, leading Walata to surrender. 3 years later, Sani Aruber pursued the Maasai and successfully drove them from his empire. In West Africa during this time, there was no greater conqueror than Sani Aruber. No people such as the Tuareg, Fulani, Mandinka, or Maasai had any answer for the supremacy of Sani. The author of the Tariq al-Sudan, despite his disdain for Sani, acknowledged just how powerful he was. This master tyrant, this famous villain, was a man gifted with tremendous strength and powerful energy. The Tariq al-Fatash has this to say about Sani: "The tyrant, the debauched, the cursed, the oppressor, the Chi Ali, last king of the dynasty, was always victorious and destroyed all the countries that he chose. None of his armies in his presence were defeated. Always the conqueror, never the defeated." According to Lady Lugard, a British journalist and writer, the fame of Sani Aruber by this time had spread beyond the limits of West Africa. He was recognized in Northern Africa as the most powerful of the black sovereigns of the West, and he's mentioned in European annals under the name of Sani Heli, King of Timbuktu, whose power was acknowledged as extending to the West Atlantic coast. Well, I'm all out, guys. If you like these videos and want to help in its continued production, consider supporting the home team on patreon.com. The link is in the description box below. Know thyself. Remember your ancestors. Peace.